Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Embrace Your Life Chat, where where I am here to help heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. I'm here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 11:30, often by myself, but as you can see, I have one of my regular guests with me today who I will introduce in a moment. So join us in comments. Let us know where you are joining us from. I am in Chicago. It is an overcast winter-ish temperature-wise day, but it's still a lovely day. And our guest is in the Pacific Northwest, which is just gorgeous in that area of the country. But anyway, let me know where you're joining us from. Let me know if you're new to my work and positive focus. I always like welcoming new people into the community. And although today's topic doesn't really require me to say my normal start offs, I still like to do it just so people who aren't familiar with my work are familiar with these couple of things. And one is I'm not an absolutist. I'm not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good, or bad. There are 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is right for 7 billion people. So I work on the majority of the time. 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. I don't know anybody at 0, and I don't know anybody at 100, but I know people who are closer to the 100, and I know people who are closer to the 0. So my work for myself, the people I work with, is to stay in the 80 to 100% of always kind, always positive, always loving, compassionate, peaceful. That means fear visits me, frustration, disappointment, anger, all of the normal feels visit me. But because of my daily practices, they don't stay there as long. So that's one thing to know about me. You will catch me saying the words never or always on occasion, but I don't use them that often. And it tends to trigger me in my head when I do say it's like, what? I just use an absolute. So know that, and know that if you're an absolutist, that's totally fine. But my work doesn't come from that space. Secondly, I'm a coach. I love supporting people on growing and living their best life. I'm not a counselor, nor am I a therapist. So sometimes to live your best life requires that type of support. I just know you're worth living your best life. So whether it's me as your coach, another person as a coach, a counselor, therapist, best friend, clergy member, whoever it is, I encourage you to gather your support team to help you live your best life. And of course, be other people's support on living their best life too. So with that said, Stacy is with us. I know Stacy is going to have I'm pretty sure Stacy had asked me a question about animals a week or so ago. I'm like, come back when Shawna is here. I hope I'm saying this right. Shami, welcome. Laquandra, welcome. I am not good at pronouncing people's names, so I apologize up front. Michelle is with us, so welcome. And now we're going to get to Jerry Lynn is here, and Jerry is from Boise, Ohio. Boise, Idaho. There may be a Boise, Ohio. I don't know why I mixed those two together, but I did. So welcome, Shawna Fischer. She is an animal communicator, a good human being, and a #1 best-selling author, which we're going to discuss here really quickly. But as mentioned, she has the ability to tap into the energy of your pets, whether they're living or crossed over, and can help provide some resource and help for you. These are short little snippets she does where you can hire her to do a longer session of 30 minutes to an hour and get deeper into the situation that you might be dealing with. But she's going to tap into whatever questions you have, and we will go from there. And thank you. I think Gina just shared it with a friend of hers. So please, especially if you know of somebody who's got an issue with their pet right now, tag them in it and get them to come in so they can ask Shawna as well. So Shawna, welcome, welcome, welcome. And congratulations, lady, on this new book that you just put out last week.
Yes.
March 3rd, right, is the day you put it out. Can you tell people, the book is called Soulmate Dog, My Journey Home with Luna's Guiding Wisdom. Luna is this yellow lab here. Why did you choose March 3rd?
Oh, thank you so much. And I can't believe it's already been a week.
I know. It took me a week to get my copy, so I was excited I have it in my hands.
I'm so excited you have it in your hand. So yeah, so the reason why I chose March 3rd, I love that you asked that, is because that's the day Luna actually made her transition to the Rainbow Bridge. So I figured like how fitting to have her book of wisdom come out on that day, just to remind people that even if an animal has passed on, right, they're still always sharing their wisdom too. So I just thought it was just so significant for her continued wisdom.
Yeah. And so last week I got the Kindle version, so I've already read it. And I think what's so nice about it, and please put your questions in right now on what you would like Shawna to be able to tap into. We're just kind of chatting until we get some questions. And
Mhm.
Shawna and I can chat for hours and hours. So please ask us questions, or otherwise we're going to hear us chat for hours and hours and hours. But what I really liked about the book, so it shares your journey with your healing experience of what like bad relationships you've had, the feeling of not belonging because you were adopted, and all those kinds of things, and how um, Luna helped you to fit in and to feel yourself through her love. But some
Mhm.
of my favorite things about the book is Shauna talks about the what somebody who may not be in love with the dog would say is that's trouble, like getting into eating the pizza when she turns away from it, and she finds the grace in those. So it's really, I just loved how you took some bad dog situations and was able to see what Luna was teaching you in that moment. I thought it was really amazing that way.
Oh, thank you. I love that. She had so much wisdom she taught me. And it's like, I just, reading, because I've been, looked back at the book myself and I'm like, wow, I'm like, man, I just love seeing all those memories of her.
Well,
Ooh.
and it sounds like she just came to you at the right time too. Like you've had other pets and you have pets now, but
Mhm.
you needed Luna for that period of your life.
Absolutely. Oh, look at those pretty flowers that she has as her profile picture. I love that, Stacia. So pretty. Love that purple. And this is a great question. So how did I know I could tap into that animal energy? So I've always had that connection with animals, and animals just kind of have always been drawn to me, and I've been drawn to them too. So it's like I look at them and they look at me and they're like, whoa, okay, she can sense what we're thinking, right? So I just always knew I had that connection. And then a friend of mine, I was talking to her at one of her events that she did, and they had just got a new cat, and I started to describe the cat and talk about the cat's personality. And then that's when she was like, hey, have you ever thought of animal communication? So then at that point I studied all I could, and Luna definitely helped light that way. And then how I feel that energy, that's another great question. And I am working on doing another class here soon, so stay tuned for that. Is there's so many ways it comes. So sometimes it comes through pictures, right? They send me pictures. Sometimes a word or just sentences come to my mind. Sometimes it's a feeling I get in my body, or a smell or a taste. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I really want some liver, and I don't eat liver. So that kind of thing is how it comes. So it just can come in many different ways. It can come from all of the above ways or just one or two of the ways, which is really, really cool. So
So with that question, and Michelle, I see your question. We'll get to it as well. So, like, you can pick up the energy from the living and the pets that have passed on. Does that message come differently whether they're alive or have transitioned? Because I know, like as they say, they're just in the other room once they transition. We don't see
mhm.
their physical self, but the energy is there. So, is the energy the same, or is it lighter, denser? Like, is there? Can you tell? I know that it's helpful for you to know if they're passed or not, but is it something? I don't know. I'm going on rambling here, but
No, I love that question. It's so great because it is. It's more of like kind of a denser kind of feel if they've passed on. It's, and sometimes it can have a little bit of lightness with the dense, but it's more of like that dense kind of energy. It's like a different kind of like flowy energy. Yeah. Hmm.
okay. And
Yeah.
so Michelle has a question here.
Mm. So, oh, Michelle, I know you loved your Morris, right? So, what I get from Morris is just Morris says like it's all about like Morris's strength and remembering my strength, and it's like I just see this like long pillar that Morris has shown me. It's like a pillar. I'm your pillar of strength, and always remember that I'm the pillar of strength. And although no other cat can compare to me, like I want you to like have, be open to other cats, because other cats are teaching you different things. And that I'll always be like your number one cat, your number one boy.
Your soul cat.
Yes, your soul cat. Yes, because they do have that. Yeah, there are. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so will Morris help her like guide another cat to her, or
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, so be open to that, because they do help guide the way, which is really amazing. Mm-hmm.
and Shawna and I have talked about this before, because my soul dog passed away. It'll be 3 years in September. And she was just 4.5 pounds. So I remember when she was going, I'm like, come back to me. And I'm like, oh no, her personality, she's going to come back as a Saint Bernard. She's not going to come back as a dog that I could fit in my apartment. So I'm like, no, maybe don't come back to me, because I really do. Saint Bernards are cute. I love them, but I don't personally want one. Stacy has another question here. Can you tell me about how my Dasher is feeling?
Dasher says, like, it's so interesting. So Dasher says, I'm not feeling as dashy lately. Like I'm still dashy, but like sometimes like my back end is like a little bit slower and I need to like get out more. I need to get out more. And Dasher's showing me like kind of like in a garden where there's kind of like plants, and like what Dasher's saying is like little kind of sticks and like bamboo sticks in the way, like remind me of like to stay away from those, and the drier dirt, like remind me to stay away from that drier dirt. Oh, love you too, Shanda.
Yes, we do.
Imagine, yeah, like have me stay away from that drier dirt, and the drier dirt affects my back end and my paws, like I'm touching my paws. So Dasher says, you're so in tune to me, and like I love it when you like nuzzle me and cuddle me when you know I need that extra love, is what Dasher says. So, oh, sweet Dasher, love it.
Aw. And Stacey, let us know if that resonates with you as well. And Michelle, I was just putting this up here because I had a friend who she had 2 cats and they passed away at an older age, like a couple years apart, and they were the loves of her life. And she fostered cats and dogs for probably about 5 years. And I remember even thinking of one that I really liked. I'm like, this is your cat. She's like, no, it's not. And then one day she fostered a cat and she's like, this is my cat. And she's had her probably 6 years now. So you'll know when it's the right one. It's not going to be Morris. My friend's cat is not Addie, but Addie and I didn't get along. So I like the new cat. Addie, and maybe you can tap into Addie. I don't know. But Addie was very protective of my friend. And if she had the opportunity to corner me in a room, she would do that. So I was afraid of Addie, and I think Addie knew it. So
yeah. Oh my goodness.
So I mean, my friend had her for like 18 or 19 years and loved her dearly. I went to the vet with her when it was her time. And I remember I sat out in the waiting room, and the vet asked if Amy wanted me to come in once Addie had passed. So I came in and I petted her, and I'm like, this is the only time I've ever been able to pet Addie. And the vet said, me too. So like Addie did not like many people except for my friend, but she brought a lot of joy to my friend.
Oh my goodness, right? And they have like that special, connection. And so much to say with that. So Michelle, like, it's like this foster cat could be like your gateway cat. Like it could be like the gateway that's leading you to, like what Carol's saying, to that right cat. And you'll just know. And who knows through fostering, you might foster a cat that might be like, hey, this is the one, or another one will just come into your life and you'll just know. Right? Because when it's meant to be, you'll just know. And it's interesting, Carol. So I have to say, like with Addie was like this, like, nope, I push people back. Don't overstep your welcome. Addie was like, don't overstep your welcome in my space, because I don't want people in my space. Addie was like, this is my space. So Addie was saying.
Absolutely. I remember sitting on her couch. We were watching a movie one time, and Addie decided to jump on my lap and fall asleep. And so I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Like I was stiff as could be. And then I don't know. I probably stayed in that position for like 20 minutes, and then I moved, and she looked up at me and hissed, like, "What are you doing?" I was comfortable. I'm like, "Amy, get your cat off my lap."
Right? You're like, I don't want to touch her. You're like, ah.
And she's like, "Oh, Addie." So yeah, Addie had a personality for sure, but she was not a fan of me, but she was not a fan of a lot of people. But again,
Mhm.
Amy loved her dearly, so that's all that really mattered. Trying to
Right?
see if there's any other questions here. Um, and again, I think I try to say this each time. Sometimes I don't see the questions during the actual live, and I catch them after, but I'm not seeing any right now. So
Oh, I see something from Stacia. Let's see here. She says, yes, thank you. Could you tell me if Dasher has any serious health issues? So when I tune into Dasher, like when I ask that, Dasher's like, big X, don't focus on, like he's having me say like, big X, don't focus on any serious health issues, but definitely like watch, like Dasher says, just like watch my heart and lungs is what Dasher says. Just like watch my like heart and lungs if you notice like any changes with that. But Dasher's like, I'm in dashing good, like I'm dashing pretty, my health is pretty good for my age is what Dasher says. So.
I love that. And I think it's also a good reminder. My dog's name is Mika, and I could go from 0 to 60 on worry, like if she acted a
Mhm.
little off one day. And when we send out that worry energy and that we're focused on them being sick or whatever, then we're creating more from that space too. So if you can step into just loving Dasher up, that will help as well.
Absolutely, 100%. Love that. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm going to ask some questions.
Yeah.
So, zoos, when you hear, there's people who hate zoos, and then there's people who love zoos. And for me, there are zoos out there who do it well, and then there's some zoos out there that I don't think do it well. But
Mhm.
I have seen other people who have your ability talk, when they go to a zoo and they're like, people think that this animal isn't happy or whatever. And in fact, they are. Or like, are you able to go to those environments, or do you feel the heaviness of the animals who don't like being there?
You know what's interesting is I love that question. So there's a lot of like, sides with that. There's like people that do the work I do. They're like, oh no, I don't like any zoos because, I just, the energy. But I feel like there's, the people that do it right. I feel like there's a lot of good zoos out there. And I feel like the animals there that are at the zoos, like they came into this life, the life that they're in the zoo, to be those ambassadors and those teachers, right? To
Yeah.
show like respect for them and show love for them and show kindness for them and to show their beauty and the wisdom that they offer us. I feel like that's the message that they come across. Now, one thing I do notice when I go to zoos, there's so many people that don't always respect the boundaries, and I get that from the animals. So there'll be like people that try to be like doing like a selfie and doing that kind of stuff, and when I see people doing that, the animals kind of act different, and they're like, wait, no, like enjoy us in that moment and be with us in that moment, right? That's what's really important, and that's what they want to remind us of. But I feel like a lot of those animals that are in there, they're to be our teachers and to remind us of that. Now, the ones that they're not treated right, that just breaks my heart. So, yeah.
It absolutely breaks my heart too. I mean, but I do think that that's, even though it's a awful role, they're there as a teacher as well, showing
Mhm.
us what shouldn't be going on, I guess. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
but I've always wondered, because I mean, I don't even go to zoos that much. I don't, again, dislike or like them, but I was just wondering, with your sensitivity to that, were you
Mhm.
able to pick up? Because sometimes people say an animal's behavior is showing that they're not happy, when in fact, an animal communicator went in and said, they're totally fine. That they
Yeah.
don't feel what we think of their pacing or whatever. So I love knowing what you're able to pick up on that.
Exactly. And it's like those projections, and like that brings another point that you just made me think of, is those projections that we put on our animals aren't always the projections that they are feeling. Does that make sense? So even
Yeah.
sometimes clients I've worked on, they project certain things on their animal, and it's their projection, not their animal's projection.
And I think that can go for human form too, where
Yes.
if it's something that we don't like, we're assuming the other person's suffering because we would be suffering in their situation, where in fact it may be a challenge for them, but they're handling it differently. So I think it's really important, regardless of what's going on, is to realize that you're coming from how you would feel in that situation too.
Yeah, exactly. So true. So true. And sending you so much love, Shamie. I know that's so hard. So what I get from your dog Brandy is like that I like that shoo, like I like am free, free from my pain. Like I'm free from my pain, and like thanks for the gentle kisses and the gentle love that you always blew my way. That just means so much to me. And like the hugs and the love and the hugs and the love, and I still send you hugs and love, and I just want you to know that and how much I love you. So, oh, yeah,
Cute.
so
Brandy.
much love there. I feel. Oh,
And Michelle, as far as the animals in Ukraine and stuff, I did see, was it yesterday or the day before, that one of I don't know how many, honestly, zoos they have there, but I guess a big one was able to get all their animals out. So
oh,
that was
yeah.
nice to hear. And again, that whole situation can easily go into heartache, but I just try to remember that what I focus on and growing. So when I get sad about things like that, I try to step further into love. And that doesn't mean it's easy to do. And
So true, Carol. So true. Because the more we amplify the love, the more there's love.
yeah. So Jerry Lynn has a question. Can you tell me if my dog Ruger has any health issues? Does he love his life with me?
Oh my gosh. So it's so funny, Jerry. Like I see Ruger's face, and Ruger's face is like showing me like, whoop, like he's like kind of showing me like a jump back, like, whoop, like, what do you mean? Do I love my life with you? He's like, what? He's like, yes. He's like, I'm all ears. He's like, I love it. And he's showing me like how just how like expressive he is. He says I'm super, super expressive, and like the looks he does, he says he's like making me think of Marmaduke. He's like, I'm like a Marmaduke happy dog, which is so funny. I haven't thought about Marmaduke in forever. Um, and he says for health issues, he says like watch his hind end and his hips. Like he says, just because of the way his body is aligned and the way his body's shaped, just really watch his like hind end is what he's showing me. So he says he's like your faithful play dog, like that he just brings so much joy. He says I'm fun, 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 fun. So oh, and you're so welcome, Stacy. And you said one other thing when he was at the doctor last, one of his testicles were enlarged, and is it still something I should worry about? So what I get from that is like it's something that got him, like it was like some sort of bite. So a weird thing that just came to me. So we used to have a Doberman when I was a kid, and the Doberman, before he was neutered, he actually sat on a bee, and the stinger was actually inside one of his testicles. Like it was, so my parents had to pull it out with a tweezer. So that's the image that I just got, like tuning into Dasher. It was like something that like he like sat on or something like that caused like that inflammation. So something like that is what I get. So I would just definitely keep an eye on it. And if you notice like the shape or anything like that to be weird, then or just like anything like weird coloring or shape, definitely just keep an eye on it. But I feel like it'll definitely be on the mend is what I get with that. So
Ow, I would say.
ow, right, exactly. Ow, right, exactly. Ow.
And Kate, just what I was going to say, Carol. Kate, I'm not sure what you're agreeing with me, but I sure appreciate it. I don't see any other questions. I don't know if Shanda is still on, but I do know that she has a new puppy. So I'm going to ask about how her new puppy is doing if she doesn't. I don't know if she's still on. She had a book launch today, so she's probably came in and out. But how
Yeah,
is her new puppy fitting into the
I'm so
home?
I'm so excited about her new book. So what I get with that, her new puppy is like showing me just like big eyes. She's like, I have big eyes. She's like, I have big eyes, and that she's just like she's like she's like I'm oh, you're so welcome, Shamey. She says I'm settling in and I'm doing really great is what I pick up on from her dog. And she's like, I'm just love. I'm love and grace. I'm love and grace is what I get. Oh, she just looks like such a cute puppy too. Like, oh my goodness, so cute.
I have another question for
Yeah.
you. As far as I was thinking of people like at animal shelters and things, and I'm going to talk about the no kill shelters. I'm not going into the other ones, but some
Mhm.
people refuse to go in because they feel bad for the animals. Is there a way like that you would recommend because to go in and look at them for adoption or to volunteer or anything? Because I know sometimes when things are hard, it's easier to look away than to look in. So how do you feel? Like you've worked at humane societies before, right?
I
So
have, yeah.
so how do you feel in those situations? And is it less dire? And I don't know what I'm saying, but I just know that people don't want to go in because they don't want to feel sad about it. But I think you can go in and see the joy in the animals from the interaction too.
Yeah, and so I think that's so important because it's like when we feel bad for them, that actually kind of is not a good thing for them because then that has that energy where they pick up on that and they're like, well, wait, like why are you feeling bad? So if we can, show them joy and show them the joy that the people that work in those shelters bring them and give them, right? It's about that joy. And it's like, hey, at least the people that had them brought them to the shelter and the right place if it wasn't, if they weren't going to keep that pet in their life anymore. And then it gives the pet an opportunity to find their like next perfect person, right? Their next
Yeah.
perfect person to, come their way, like they don't want us to feel that sadness. They want us to share our love with them when we go there. That's one thing I'm reminded of, like when I worked at the shelter and if I go to visit a shelter, is they want us to remember that love and share their love, share our love with them, right? Because that's what
Yeah.
they want is like a reminder of that love. And that's what brings them joy, right? Because it amplifies the joy, right? Where if we send them sadness, it amplifies the sadness. And a lot of times, a lot of shelters play like music in the background that actually helps calm them, and which is really, really great. And both my dogs are rescues, shelter dogs. So,
Well, and I think too, like you said it before, but animals, like they pick up on our anxiety and our anxiousness. So the more that we could come from, like, I just knew from even Mika, it's like, Carol, calm down because she's picking up on it. She's probably picking up on it before I'm even aware that I'm anxious about her. So the more that we could go into that space filled with love and seeing them get the best home and knowing that they're getting taken care of in the meantime, I think is helpful too. But
yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
I know I tend to be the person who wants to bring them all home, and I know I can't take care of them all, so I don't do that. But it's like, just all of you come live with me, except for
Mhm.
Addie, who was mean to me. But do you know how long an animal still has on this earth? So if you could turn into Dasher,
Oh, Stacia. So what I get from Dasher is like he says it's not about the amount of time, it's about the quality of time. So Dasher's like, I have so much more quality time. He's like, I have a year, I have a two. Like he's showing me like 1 to 2 to more, 1 to 2 to more. So he's like showing me, he's like, I have so much more time. And he's like, oh, maybe even 3. He's like, I have lots of years left with you and lots of time. And he says that he doesn't want you to get trapped into the like, oh, how much time does he have left? Because he wants you to focus on the quality of the time. And if you're focused on like, oh gosh, he only has this much time left, then you're not enjoying the time that he
yeah,
has left, right? Because you're focused on like, oh no, he only has this much time left, right? But
I
yeah.
think it's so important because I think especially whether it's human or our fur babies, when we know. I mean, I know for myself, I stepped into mourning. I'm like, Carol, she's still here. Stop mourning. I'm in mourning. Stop it. She's still here. So I think it's easy to go into mourning what's to come rather than to stay present. And Stacey, I would also add on top of that, while Dasher is saying that right now, like, we still don't know time. Like, something could happen. Like, I plan to be here for years and years and decades to come. And I see no reason today why that wouldn't be true. But tomorrow something could happen to me that I checked out and I'm now dancing in the stars. So know that even if Dasher is saying 1 to 2 to 3 years, we still don't know for sure. And animals, for me, you know better than I do, but they are so connected energetically. When they pass, while you can't see them, they're still there. Like, so it's not like them missing you like we miss them because we can't see them. Does that make sense, Shawna?
Totally does, because it's just a different kind of tangible. It's like we see and feel them with our heart's eye, right? Because it's like that presence is always there. It's just in a different kind of way, right? It's
Yeah.
not in the way that like we're used to, right? It's a different kind of way.
Yeah. And it does not mean that I don't miss Mika physically here, because I absolutely do. But I do know that she's still with me. So I don't see any other question here. So if I missed one, please add it again so I don't miss it, because I would hate for you to miss this opportunity with Shawna. Although Shawna is on Sunday evenings at 7 o'clock Pacific time on her page. Weekly, she does these readings too. So if you didn't get a chance here, and again, these are just short little snippets. When she does her sessions with you, she's able to really tune in and even get clear on the information. I know several people, including Shanda, who was with us earlier, that really helped when dogs were transitioning, that she was able to help in that situation, or behaviors, or illnesses, or just checking in and seeing how they're doing. So if you need that kind of support, I encourage you to go to her website, which is right there, ShawnaMarieFischer.com. Again, I don't see any other questions. Shawna, is there anything else coming up for you that you want to make sure people know?
I'm just so excited. Like, let me turn around. I'm just so excited to be here with you and like to tune in. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And then anybody that wants to know, like, I have my book. It's on Amazon and it's on my website too. So you can order a signed copy on my website as well. And if you order a signed copy, you get this fabulous little bookmark that comes with it too, right? Because that's what's missing when you order a new book. Sometimes it's like, where's my bookmark? So there you go. So if you're interested and you love dogs and that human animal connection, and you want to hear wisdom that I gathered from my Luna, I'd love for you to pick up a copy of my book. So
yeah. And LaQuandra, yes, Shawna, we just do the animals here. I don't have anybody who joins me for mediumship type thing, but I would say LaQuandra, let me say this properly, Jody Harvala, Harvala, Harvala. Is that correct, Shawna?
Yeah.
She is a medium, and she does lives on her page every now and then and tunes into people. So you might want to check out Jody, Jodie, Harvala. And she might be able to help you, or you could get a session from her as well. So, oh, yay, I said it properly. Thank you for that, because I butcher people's name every day on here. So I'm glad to hear that I got it right. So thank you very much. And Shawna, thank you for joining again. Her book isn't about teaching you how to communicate with animals, but it is about the connection, and it's her journey with her soul dog. But I know personally, when reading it, I felt a closer connection with Mika through your journey with Luna. Even some of the crazy things Luna did, it made me think of the things that Mika did. And I'm like, are you crazy, dog? What are you doing this for? So, yes, so definitely check out her book. She will be here again with me the second Thursdays of the month, and then on her own page on Sunday. So Shawna will go in and share her page later, right?
Yes, I would love to. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely. So thank you, everyone. Today, I'm not sure what my topics will be next week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday. It will be something to help heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows. So if you have particular things that you would like me to approach from a space of love, kindness, compassion, and peace, put it in the comments, and I will look again later today, because I love getting community topics on what they would like me to talk about, what you would like me to talk about. And if it's something I'm comfortable talking about, I will certainly bring it up. I know that some people have brought up some topics on children, and I'm not a child coach. I'm not a parent personally. So there's a couple of topics that I'm going to look at approaching from my perspective, with the understanding I do not coach children, and I'm not a parent. So I definitely want people to know that is not my expertise, because you want to go to experts, especially when you're dealing with your babies. So that's what we have for you today. Again, thank you so much, Shawna, for being here. I appreciate you. Tell Mika hi for me.
Yes.
And
Aw.
you're my Meeksters. So we will see you later. Have a great day. Know that you can connect with your loved ones on the other side, whether they're an animal or a human being, and keep your heart open for it. When we're in that deep grief state, we tend to block that emotion because they're at a very high energy. And when we're at grief, we're at a low energy. Just harder for those two to meet. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just means that there's a gap that we need to try to fill to be able to have that connection type space. So go out there, have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, be safe, be happy, be healthy. And remember, you matter. You matter to me, you matter to the world, and most importantly, you matter to your pets and you. So take care, and we'll talk soon. So long for now.